Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. I'm excited to announce that this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. For the past few years, Ultimate Guard has been hard at work finding ways to protect your cards without damaging the planet, and they have discovered it. Boulders once made entirely of plastic are now made of 87% renewable resources. They also come in a variety of sizes, including this new Return to Earth 100 card boulder. If you're like me, you have a ton of decks and don't want those boxes filling up an entire suitcase, this box is the perfect solution. Find out if your local game store carries the new Return to Earth boulders from Ultimate Guard. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Josh. Huge thanks to Josh and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Josh reached out asking for a surprise cEDH deck. You see, it's his birthday this month and he wanted to be surprised. Well, today's list certainly surprised him. I decided to build a deck around one of my favorite commanders, Veyran, Voice of Duality. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Veyran, Voice of Duality is a 3-mana 2/2 Ifrit wizard. She has Magecraft. Whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Veyran gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Additionally, if us casting or copying an instant or sorcery causes a triggered ability of a permanent we control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So, Veyran is basically Spell Harmonicon. She goes crazy with Thousand Year Storm and is an amazing Storm Commander. But in order to win at a cEDH table, we need to take the control route. We'll be sitting back, quietly setting up our board, and then killing someone out of nowhere. Now, for most decks, I'd recommend a checklist, something along these lines. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. But that's for casual or even high-powered play. For cEDH, you want a checklist that looks something like this. 30 or so lands, the best ramp available to you in your colors, as many tutors as you can fit in your color identity, 20 to 30 pieces of interaction, including stacks, but most importantly, a focus on winning. Suddenly, violently, and all over the place. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, City of Brass, Mana Confluence, Ancient Tomb, Scalding Tarn, Misty Rainforest, Bloodstained Mire, Wooded Foothills, Polluted Delta, Arid Mesa, Flooded Strand, Volcanic Island, Steam Vents, Training Center, Storm-Carved Coast, Sulphur Falls, Shivan Reef, Riverglide Pathway, 4 Islands, and 4 Mountains. Dockside Extortionist, Stormkiln Artist, Burgi, God of Storytelling, Dramatic Reversal, Isochron Scepter, Seething Song, Pyretic Ritual, Chrome Mox, Mox Amber, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Talisman of Creativity. Underworld Breach, Jeska's Will, Jori N. Ruin Diver, Archmage Emeritus, Mystical Tutor, Gamble, Windfall, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Misfortune, Rhystic Study, Mystic Remora, and Sensei's Divining Top make up our card advantage package. But that's not enough for a Storm deck. Serum Visions, Expedite, Expressive Iteration, Brainstorm, Ponder, Opt, Preordain, Faithless Looting, Frantic Search, Sleight of Hand, Consider, Crimson Wisps, and Gitaxian Probe help us storm off and dig through our deck. Counterspell, Negate, An Offer You Can't Refuse, Pongify, Narset's Reversal, Cyclonic Rift, Rapid Hybridization, Abrade, Lightning Bolt, Force of Will, Fierce Guardianship, Reality Shift, Force of Negation, Swan Song, Mental Misstep, Deflecting Swat, Flusterstorm, Vandal Blast, Unsummon, and Capsize allow us to interact with our opponents and slow the game down as needed. Thousand Year Storm is a bit expensive in a cEDH deck, but we do have a few ways of generating infinite mana, so this will help us close out games faster. Mizzix's Mastery is another Sudden I Win card if played at the right moment. Galvanic Iteration, Reverberation, Fork, Increasing Vengeance, Reiterate, and Expansion Explosion all serve to copy spells, making our commander bigger, but Explosion is another possible win condition in this deck. Krark the Thumbless is absurd with our commander. Twinferno, Fists of Flame, and Temur Battle Rage all help us get that little bit of extra commander damage across the board, and Grape Shot is simply disgusting in this deck. Now that we have our deck list, let's discuss various lines and combos in the deck. Capside with Dockside Extortionist makes infinite mana, assuming Dockside creates at least 7 treasures. Any instant or sorcery we cast can then be targeted by a copy spell. If we copy that copy spell on the stack, we create an infinite stack of copy effects. Now, we don't get to make infinite copies of the original spell, but we do get to grow Veyran until she's absurdly large. It also means we can dig through our deck with Archmage Emeritus, or create infinite treasures with Stormkiln Artist. And if things get really hectic, we can just cast a bunch of spells with Thousand Year Storm on board, then kill the table with a bunch of copies of Lightning Bolt. Remember, Veyran basically doubles the number of copies created by Thousand Year Storm. And since life is often a resource in cEDH, we probably only need to create about 15 copies of Lightning Bolt to win the game. And to get to that point, we'll only need to cast 6 instants or sorceries prior to Lightning Bolt. Easy if we have Underworld Breach or Birchie God of Storytelling on board. Now, something I wanted to add was that not everyone has a cEDH group to play with. If you want to take this deck and make it high power rather than cEDH, here's what I would do. First of all, I would cut Unsummon, Mental Misstep, Flusterstorm, Mystic Remora, Fierce Guardianship, Force of Will, Force of Negation, Swan Song, and Gamble. Some of these we're cutting because they're not good pieces of interaction in a non-cEDH match, while others we're cutting because they're a bit too mean for more casual commander tables. But we're adding additional ways to win in Ral, Storm's Conduit, Adeliz, the Cinderwind, Balmor, Battle Mage Captain, Firebrand Archer, Kessig Flamebreather, Electrostatic Field, Niv-Mizzet Perun, 1 Island, and 1 Mountain. See? Much more friendly. This deck was a lot of fun to make, and I hope Josh has a lot of fun playing it. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Phoenix of Ice, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Richard, Pob Zombie, Mark, Danny, Alex, John, Ignis, Daniel, and Steve. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.